What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Goodol'boys channel. So today we took the Hawk and sent her over some really big jumps. It was really rough on the suspension. I'm just going to play the video and let you guys see for yourself. Alrighty, guys, so this is going to be the aftermath of hitting all the jumps. Want to say they are really big jumps for the Hawk. I know it doesn't look like it on video, but it never does. The hill climbs never look as steep as they are. The jumps never look as big as they are. I promise you, you came out to my buddy's house and tried to hit him on the Hawk, you'd probably be contemplating your life choices. So once again, I want to show you guys the aftermath here real quick. We're gonna have to make a video on all this stuff. It's really hard to see here, but if it'll focus up, there you go. So if you look right here where my fingernail is, on between the frame rail here and the weld here, hopefully you guys can see that. That's a crack in the welding, but in all reality, whoever welded this did not really weld it right. This issue is only on the shifter side. If we come over here and look on the brake side, there's actually no crack in the weld, so it's just a matter of a bad weld, which that can be fixed easy enough. Okay, moving on to issue 2. We can see right here we got some really fancy duct tape holding the light on in this whole section, so you can see this is all kind of loose. Something happened back here, screw got cracked or something, and I don't think it was because of the downforce of the jump. I think it was because the tire got into the plate here. You can see how it's U-shaped. When the tire came up, kind of grabbed the plate and drug it under the bike, folded the plate under. So that's issue number 2. Again, not a big deal. I'm just gonna have to take this apart and find some way to reattach this rear light assembly. All right, issue 3. So you guys know that I reinforced the swing arm. Well, issue is when you do this, you're going to find the next weak point in the bike or the frame or whatever, wherever it is. And we found it. So it's kind of hard to see, but if you look in here, if you guys look in here, hopefully you can see that this piece of metal here, it's supposed to go straight across, and hopefully you can see it's kind of curved. You can definitely see it up front there, and that's due to the Hawk bottoming out. So you guys probably heard it in the video. When it would bottom out hard. So you had to hit the jumps exactly perfectly, and even when you did, it would still bottom out most of the time. And then if you messed up at all or landed not completely flat or whatever, the back end would just smack down really hard. So I can't even remember. I think we're on to the 4th issue here. It's going to be pretty hard for you guys to tell on this one, but if you look really closely at the bolt going across the shock, it's bent into a nice U shape. And if you guys followed the videos where I reinforced the swing arm, when I took this apart, that bolt was bent in a U shape then as well, which I straightened it out, put it back on the bike. But now, after jumping this thing over the big jumps for one day, all this stuff has kind of happened. These are a couple things that are just solely Chinese bike failures. The swing arm just is not beefy enough on the rear of the bike. It also could use a longer shock so it doesn't constantly bottom out. All the shock loading of the bottoming out really puts a lot of stress into the swing arm, and I have a feeling that's mostly why the swing arm keeps bending the way it does. So that's kind of a major issue. The other thing is the foot peg, which needs welded on. That being said, like I said, the foot peg, this all happened in one day of hitting the jumps, but I've ridden the bike 800 miles with the foot peg with a cracked weld like that. So it's fine if you're normal riding it, and I'm sure it'll last forever, but if you're hitting jumps and stuff, you can expect this kind of stuff. And then the license plate issue, of course, which is not really that big of a deal, but yet again, something else that needs fixed. So the question is here, does this make the Hawk a bad bike? And I would say no. I think the Hawk is still a good bike. I think it's still a very reliable bike. There's just a few kinks that need worked out of it. For example, like I said, I think you could avoid a lot of these issues if I just maybe put a longer shock on there, or a shock with more dampening so it wouldn't just instantly bottom out. So a few things like that. The welds, you can't help, they just cheaped out on the welds. Somebody totally missed where they were supposed to weld, so it didn't weld right and it cracked. So again, you know, no excuses. It's definitely a Chinese failure, and you wouldn't really see any of these failures normally on any Japanese bikes. So yeah, it's definitely a Chinese bike failure. With all that being said, can't really complain too much. I mean, after all, I did pay $1,400 for this bike, and in all reality, I have been riding the bike like an ape for the last 2,500 miles. So honestly, I can't complain too much that the swing arm is a little bit bent. I mean, it's going to happen if you're hitting big jumps that the Hawk is totally not meant for. Well, guys, that's it for this video. Make sure you guys subscribe. I have a part 2 to this video. My buddy tried to hit a jump with a four-wheeler. It didn't go so well, so we'll leave it at that. He's okay, spoiler alert, but we actually got the whole thing on video, so that one's going to be coming out. Again, subscribe. Make sure you click on the bell so you get the notification. Rate, comment, subscribe. Check out that description box below, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Woo!
It's all about humanity.